Santiago Bernabeu, and Sid Square is back for the third time. First of all, welcome Sid Lowe back to Let's Be Real.
Sorry, who said that? I can't see anything.
That's all.
We're taking our glasses off because there's a light, you see, so we can't see anything.
Definitely.
But we can hear.
We can hear, and that's how my movements are acting. But welcome, and big game today, but ended in a draw. Talk to me about the Real Madrid performance from a weak first half, in my opinion, to a second half. It had a phase where they really wanted to win.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you said a phase, because I think there is a temptation after a game like that to say that Real Madrid were really good in the second half. And I agree with you. I don't think they were really good in the second half, not for the whole of it. But I thought they had 25 very good minutes. And I thought the first half was dreadful. And I thought the first half was strange because it was flat. There was a resignation about them. They were slow. They weren't getting to the ball. And I don't know about you, but in the stadium, the thing that really struck me is at half-time when the teams went off, we had the whistle for the referee, which you always get. But then we had silence. And I was really taken by how quiet it was. Now, there was a resignation, a kind of a sense that this is all there is, there's just nothing there. And I thought Madrid's reaction in the second half was very good for about 25 minutes. I think it's true that it then dropped again. And I actually felt Madrid were at the mercy of Atletico counter-attacking them 2 or 3 times on the right-hand side. Atletico could have found their way in. But then Madrid reacted again and had a couple of chances late on. So I think, look, if you try and analyse this game and think about what it means for the Manchester City match, I think you leave here quite optimistic. Not 100% optimistic, but quite optimistic.
Definitely. And regarding the Man City game also, the fact that I think if both the attacking lines, we'll be looking at the defence and we're like, we could score here. And defensively, both teams have a problem. But talking about the Atleti tactics that you said, even in after that phase, even Simeone had a phase where he put in a lot of offensive players.
Yes.
Correa came in, Sorloth came in, where he wanted to replicate what happened in Barcelona, where he could probably get a last-minute winner, but that didn't turn out to be.
No, and he could have done. I mean, you look at those late attacks, and they're all down the right-hand side with Naul Molina, with Marco Llorente getting into the Real Madrid area. I actually think it's worth saying at this point that I thought Real Madrid's defence, maybe not so much Lucas, maybe a little bit less Fran Garcia, but I thought the 2 central defenders, one of them, of course, Tchouameni, who's not a central defender, and Raul Asensio, who is very, very good tonight. I thought quick, strong, very aggressive. Ancelotti uses that word pessimist to talk about defenders that he likes, that think of the worst scenario and stop it rather than think of the best scenario and get themselves in trouble. And I think they were both very good. And look, I have a faith in Real Madrid to improve when the really big games come, because I think part of it is attitude. And I think in a big game, if you don't have an attitude in a big game, you're never going to have it. And I think Madrid will have that attitude in the big game. And I think we saw it, say, for 25 minutes, half an hour, maybe even 35 minutes tonight. In the second half, I think we saw it.
Definitely. And the goal changed a lot of things, And it was a good goal I said it was created by Rodrigo,
Yes,
but the finish from Kylian Mbappe was a striker's finish, right place at the right time, and the finish where he made the ball bounce and then it went on back of the net.
Do you remember that time not long ago when we wondered if Kylian Mbappe might not be the right man for Real Madrid? It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Both Sids were wrong.
I mean, he's a brilliant footballer. I don't think tonight was his best game, but I think what's interesting is you look at him tonight, and I think you're not massively impressed with his performance, but it's still different to the way we felt at the start of the season. You look at him tonight and say, well, maybe he didn't influence the game as much, but he scored the goal, but he made things happen. And in that first half, when I thought Real Madrid played really badly, when I thought we didn't see Vinicius, it's not that Vinicius played badly, it's we didn't see him. He was not there. Mbappe, even in those difficult moments, was coming deep to try and get the ball, was trying to make things happen, and I felt that him and Bellingham in that first half were the 2 players, and probably the only 2 players, getting a reaction from Real Madrid. And I thought he was really important. And as you say, he took the goal pretty well. It was a striker's goal. I think he can do a lot more than that, because he's a wonderful footballer, not just a striker. But, this guy's on 22 goals now.
Yeah. And it's not going to stop.
It's not going to stop. No, absolutely. I completely agree with you. It's not going to stop. He's going to finish this season with 40 goals.
And that's great for the first season. Ronaldo had 33 in 2009.
Yep, and Ronaldo, remember, people forget this, in Ronaldo's first season, he wasn't Real Madrid's top scorer. Higuain scored more than him. And so, Mbappe's not super young, so it's not like you look at Mbappe and think there's going to be a huge improvement. But then I look at Mbappe and think, well, why do you need a huge improvement? This is a guy that's already played in 2 World Cup finals. that's already scored in both of them, that scored a hat-trick in the last one. I know France didn't win, but scored a hat-trick. You know, there should be no doubt about Mbappe. I think there should be some doubts about where you fit him in, about how you position the players, about which spaces they occupy. And obviously, I still think, even now, we do have that slight issue about how do he and Vinicius fit together, because they want to be in similar places. Even Rodrigo would like to be on that side, although he's good on the right. Yeah. So I'm not saying it's problem-free, because it's not problem-free, but when you've got a player like Mbappe, it's never a big problem, really.
Never. And the fact that, as you mentioned, in the first half he was trying and he was moving to the left, to the right. And
coming deep. The thing that really struck me is how deep he came. Yeah, exactly. He was coming deep to look at the ball, to look for the ball, to try and give Real Madrid... You know, this is a very simplistic thing to say, but to try and give Real Madrid some football. Yeah. Because in the first half, Madrid had none.
Definitely, I completely agree with you, and it was very disappointing sitting in the stands and seeing that. You know, but talking about Rodrigo, which in my opinion, he had a good game.
Yes.
He tried.
I agree with you.